Hi, I'm Bob Carr, owner of TLC Lawn Sprinklers and Outdoor Lighting, and also TLC Garage Works. Your host for today's episode of At Home with Bob. We will be discussing 5.5 floor misconceptions, which is part of my free consumer education guide. Misconception number 1, all floor coatings are the same. No, not at all. There are several different coatings being used for garage and other concrete floors. Paints, stains, epoxies, polyspartic, polyurea, and whatever the flavor of the month is for the big box stores. Paints and stains. Concrete is very porous, yet rather than penetrate the substrate, typical concrete paints or stains tend to form a film only on the surface, and so are easily scratched and marked. And since most aren't UV or water resistant, they tend to fade, chalk, bubble, chip, or wear off. Epoxy. When epoxy was first introduced nearly 30 years ago for garage floors, it was a revolutionary improvement over the historic concrete paints and stains. And for the better part of those 30 years, when professionally applied, there's been nothing to compare it with. Polyspartic. The most significant drawback to epoxy garage floor coating was how long it took to install and cure before the garage could be returned to service and fully utilized. Those days are now long gone, thanks to the introduction of the new, fast-curing, incredibly durable polyspartic polyurea catalytic floor finishing systems. Misconception number 2, all polyspartics are the same. Not so. What makes TLC's polyspartic polyurea such a great solution? It's an ideal solution for floor repair, easy to clean, seamless, waterproof coating. UV resistant, won't yellow or chalk. Tolerant to temperatures up to 300 degrees when cured. It's resistant to stains from acids, oils, fats, foods, and other chemicals. 4 times stronger than epoxy. High bond strength to concrete, steel, ceramic tile, fiberglass, and other composites. Rapidly curing with short downtime. Installed in just 1 day. Walkable within 2 hours, and you can drive on it within after 24 hours. Misconception number 3. Acid etching is a good floor preparation method. Preparing your garage floor cement surface for a long-lasting, tough finish. As much as 75% of the cost of having your floor finish should be directly related to preparing the floor surface. Done poorly or not doing at all will invariably result in a poor adhesive, premature coating failure, and your disappointment. And since over 80% of premature coating failures can be directly linked to inadequate surface preparation, we'll need to take the time to prepare your floor well before we apply the coatings. Done properly, this ensures you get a exceptionally solid, strong bond between the concrete and coating, and many, many, many years of useful service and satisfaction. How do you roughen the concrete surface? Well, there are 2 primary ways to roughen the concrete surface, using an acid etch or grinding with a machine. Acid etching involves applying an acid solution, usually muriatic acid, which when applied reacts with the concrete, eroding or lightly pitting the surface. Because it's relatively easy and inexpensive, many contractors recommend acid etching to prepare the floor. Similar, the do-it-yourself garage floor kits from the big box stores usually include an acid etching component. And while there are applications where using acid makes sense, relying on acid to roughing your garage floor poses some serious issues. It cannot roughen the concrete surface enough. Remember, the greater the roughness, the better the adhesive. It often leaves a residue or acid slime, and this slime is often worse than doing no preparation at all. It introduces water into the concrete, and water is the enemy of nearly all coatings in that it prevents good adhesive. Some companies try to remove it with fans, but concrete retains moisture long after the surface appears dry. Bottom line, acid etching doesn't provide the tooth required to ensure the solid, complete bond we strive for in our projects, and which is necessary for a durable, trouble-free floor. Misconception number 4. One company is as good as another. In the end, isn't it true you really only get what you pay for? Watch out for those common mistakes and tricks of the trade. Tricks of the trade can create an artificial, low upfront cost, but will almost certainly cost you a lot of money and distress over time, including, it's important to recognize that coating your garage floor isn't as simple as slapping on a coat or 2, not the stuff the big box stores will sell you. Not if you want an attractive, envy of your neighborhood, long-lasting, durable, low-maintenance garage or basement floor, that is. To do it right the first time is often beyond the scope of the home handyman or woman. And our goal at TLC Garage Works is to install a top quality, surprisingly economical floor coating that will provide years of great looking, stain resistant service to you and your garage. Misconception number 5. All contractors carry proper and sufficient insurance. Don't believe that for a second. You should ask instead of assuming. Ask to see proof of the workman's compensation coverage that ensures you that they're actually registered with the Workmen's Compensation Board. Their workers' compensation account is paid, current, and in good standing. Ask for proof of current and sufficient contractor's liability coverage. Misconception 5.5. The company that offers the lowest price is the company you should hire, not. To some people, getting a few quotes and choosing the lowest is the full extent of their efforts to choose a contractor. Basing your decision on price alone can create many unnecessary risks and problems. The lowest quote isn't always the cheapest. You're investing in a permanent, lifetime floor coating that should be installed correctly the first time, if it's to give you the durability, long-term service you should be looking for.